to tell you that if you're still drinking, drinks are, we get a percentage on the drinks tonight. Thank you to the Axe and Fiddle for providing a fantastic venue for events like this. And yeah, it's okay to give them a hand. All right, okay. Something I remembered in the break is that this being 2014, I believe this is the 50th anniversary of the passage of the Wilderness Act. Pretty significant happening in the movement for environmental whatever all along. It took a lot of effort, but in 1964, the original millions of acres of wilderness. I don't know. I think Sisters Wilderness may be one of the original ones that got in. I don't know that for sure, though. Bob Marshall in Montana, and on and on and on and on, and the struggle keeps going to designate some of the most pristine areas still remaining as wilderness. Okay, so here we go. Let's get going again with this comedy thing. First up, the fabulous Leslie. We just know her as Leslie. The graceful, the beautiful, still dancing probably, but you used to dance. I think you still do choreography stuff, right? She's not going to dance tonight. Tonight she's going to share with us an original poem, and here is Leslie.
Okay, so you're actually going to have to shut up to listen to me. Sorry. All right. I mean, this is a bar. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is this too high? Is this covering my face? Okay. So this is a bar, and I know it's always difficult with poetry readings. Yeah, you'll have to tone it down a little. So I would like you all to know that Maura is to blame for the whole event, actually, but also specifically for this because Maura asked me to write a limerick. And so she's responsible. Now, here's the thing. Some of you may know, I have an affliction of limericks. It's kind of like this autoimmune illness thing that happens sometimes, and friends and family members sometimes have to suffer the trauma of having me read to them a limerick for their birthday. So if there are any of you out there, I think Rick most recently, I apologize. I apologize about that. But luckily I was not able to write a limerick for this event. Maura asked me to write a limerick about climate change. Have you ever tried to write a limerick about climate change? Well, I was not able to. Luckily for you, you won't have to suffer through that indignity. But I was able to come up with a poem. It's iambic pentameter. I don't know if that's ever been done around the subject of climate change before, but that's what I'm going to trouble you with tonight. And I'd like you to know, I teach, and sometimes those of us who teach, we have to document things. We believe in teaching our students that if you want to say something, find some evidence. So I have citations for this poem if anybody's interested. It's all verified. I think that's very important. And before I continue, I do want to read a little quote from a famous philosopher from Slovenia, Slavoj Žižek. Isn't that a great name, Slavoj Žižek? And so what he wrote was, the most elementary form of torturing one's language is called poetry. And I don't think he meant this in an endearing way. He was not a poet. He was actually a cultural critic. So I think that is going to preface my poem. Good luck. And finally, this audience requires a very, very small amount of audience participation. So please be open and willing, okay? You may have to listen carefully. So here we go. It's called Cruising to Climate Change. In this, our once great country, there's a senator named Cruz. With some he's popular, but he gives liberals the blues. He's really rather right-wing in his scientific views. He's a climate change denier, and that's really lit my fuse. He sent a recent newsletter by email to his fans. In it, he says the ozone hole both shrinks and then expands because it's just a normal part of Mother Nature's plans. And he's sad about the wasted cost of chlorofluorocarbon bans. Really, Senator Cruz? You're an ozone hole skeptic? I can't believe this wouldn't make your constituents apoplectic. Now, before I go much further, I must defuse a misconception about this Senator Cruz. Tell me, what's your first impression?
He's a pig!
Yeah? What else? You know, who do you think I'm talking about? Who am I talking about?
He's stupid!
Who are we talking about?
A Republican!
He is stupid. He is a Republican. Who do you think I'm talking about?
Fascist!
Okay, you're on here. Okay, so yes, dear.
Idiot apply?
Yeah, that'll work. So, are you thinking that I'm talking about Ted Cruz?
Yes.
That dude from Texas?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not Think Oregon. A local guy does vex us. Now Ted Cruz does vex us. That's true, but there's a local Cruz who does too. He's from Roseburg, Douglas County. Yes, State Senator Jeff Cruz. He represents our neighbors south, and he spews outlandish views. Perhaps that's why his science is just a little skewed. He grew up in Douglas County, where he spent 2 decades stewed. Yes, he's had an interesting past. Narcotics were his fix. He needed meth to go to sleep till he straightened up in 1986. But then he got clean and sober, got elected to the legislature. But I'm wondering if he's the dry drunk sort, because his thinking is so irregular. Back to the ozone hole. Jeff Cruz says no alarm. He doesn't believe that carbon emissions are causing us any harm. He says natural global warming causes Earth's increase of carbon. I believe he's not using meth, but maybe he's drinking a lot of bourbon? He actually saw the film, An Inconvenient Truth. And he thought some of it was good, except for the parts without scientific proof. Cruz may be a bit confused about the science in his head and ideas of actual scientists concerned about the years ahead. I'm sorry, folks. I feel it coming on. I can't help it. There once was this fellow Jeff Cruz. As a senator, I didn't choose. Real science rejected when he got elected, because climate change he just poo-poos. So it's time to vote no for small minds and conservative nuts of all kinds. I have to refuse folks like Senator Cruz because their brains are a lot like their hinds. Climate change scary enough. But this outrageous right-wingish stuff will drive me insane, and I'll have to abstain from all Forest Web fundraiser fluff. I hope that you did comprehend. Please don't ask me to try to amend. This work is now done, and I hope you had fun. This sad song of Jeff Cruz does now end.